Alright, so this game I did pretty well in. I dropped in going into capture the objectives or the King of the Hill style game mode on prop sinkhole. Put my shield on Welkin because he's the furthest in the front, so he can tank some shots. I run towards the objective and I place walls down for cover. I put my shield on Welkin and start shooting. And then I'm trying to put a wall down on the enemy Welkin, but I get DF jammered by their Welkin. So I'm healing and shielding our Welkin, but he doesn't know how to look at the Stellaris who's dodging away. So just get the kill. I drop a wall on the enemy Welkin to try to prevent it from capture as I get roasted by a Panther, and then I shoot him several times. I'm focusing on the objective. I'm not really focused on the Panther because I can't really do much against him. It's really a team thing. But the Welkin is weak on their enemy team, and I do get pushed away, but the Welkin does die, and I juke around. If you see on the map, there's that little hill. I use that as sort of cover to juke around in order to not get attacked by the enemy Panther. I see that our Sky Raider is low on health, so I try to give him some healing. The good thing is we have a Lumine on our team, so I was able to get healed by the Lumine and the healing drum. So yeah, I see that I'm trying to heal, but everyone keeps running away from me, and then I'm getting bursted by Stellaris, but it's okay, because I'm delaying Stellaris. I didn't get my wall drop in, which is kind of sad. But he's distracting me, which normally I would not be okay with being distracted by one of their players, because as a healer on the team, the further you are away from the team, it's bad. But because we have a Luminator, we already have another healer, and so I go in to help support and keep our guys alive.
Enemy down.
Stellaris is doing alright, he's alive. At full health, and then I could have used the elevator lift in front of me, but I was too slow. So I go back to Alpha, shield the Welkin, start blasting. The enemy Welkin doesn't move, and I get killed because the melee stagger preventing the enemy Welkin from moving, and then my wall drops right on top of them. We do have Alpha and Charlie, so we don't really need Bravo, but I see that it's highly uncontested, so 3v1, we should win this pretty easily, and then that allows me to get the objective. My Welkin boxes himself in, leaving me outside with a Panther, and the Welkin did that on our team to easily capture the objective, or make it more easier, because the Panther isn't going to break the box, even with a full charge. It takes a full charge and then a couple melee swings to break the box, which would take approximately 3 seconds, and the Welkin box lasts for 4, so our team is using the Welkin box in order to capture the objective. See that we're getting shot by a Sego from the side, so I threw down a wall that allows us to cap. Yeah, so we have Alpha and Bravo now. I'm just going around, seeing who needs heals, where are people at, who's fighting. I see that the Welkin's engaged. There's another Welkin. I'm outside, so I shoot the box to easily break the box. He needs some healing, so I throw down my shield on top of him. I see the Stego right there. I'm not focused on the Stego, I'm focused on this Welkin. He got cornered. He got melee staggered, cornered, and stuck on map terrain, which allowed my wall drop just to kill him pretty easy. I go back to the center, I look and assess the situation. I see that there's other people fighting. I'm looking for our Sky Raider to get the heals. That's kind of the thing, is like I keep an eye on where our health is as a team, as a healer, and then I try to prioritize what I can and where I am. And so I put another shield on our Welkin. It does a lot of damage, especially against the Stego. The Stegos basically get shredded by knocking the splitter or the shotgun. So yeah, it's fairly easy. If you pay attention, I do drop drones throughout the objective point, throughout the game. That is another thing that is worth mentioning. That makes a big difference because I don't have to actively be in range of them in order for my healing to be effective. So I'm just trying to help our Luminate survive. It's not going to really win in this 1v1. Solaris is really weak, but Luminate kind of focused on the wrong person. That's okay. The welcome for the box. I put a wall down to counter his box. Hits him. Does a lot of damage. And now he's afraid. And he's low health, like sort of, you know, edge close in the close combat. And he's evaluating whether or not he can take me on or not. He was about to die, but the enemy Luminate came in and saved him. And so now it's not a physical fight because he has a healer on his team. And we win the game. So, yeah. Major parts is that, like, we mainly dominated most of the areas and control points, which allowed us to get the lead, essentially. And there were times when the enemy team and even our team was fighting in the pit in the center of the map. I mean, I even caught myself down there like 2 or 3 times. But I was usually either down there with a friend or an ally that I'm trying to heal, dive and heal, or I was somehow distracting, you know, the enemy Stellaris or something. I thought, in hindsight, I should have won against that fight against Stellaris when I was down in the pit earlier, but it didn't pan out for me, and I guess the wall drop just didn't work while he was doing his melee spin, parry spin. Yeah, I think the big thing here is I was doing a lot of damage and finishers while keeping the Welkin alive, while the Welkin on our team took care of the enemy Welkin and some of their heavy hitters like that Aquila. Our Luminate was doing a good job keeping everyone else healthy, and including me. That's another interesting strategy, is if you have healers on the team, to heal the healers, because the longer that the healers stay alive, the more healing goes around to your team. So as a Pinaka, I see it as a duty and a role to make sure that your Luminate survives. I don't have a lot of experience playing Luminate, and there's a toggle feature between the corruption and doing damage, and then you have to decide whether or not you want to do damage or healing. I think effectively from a non-Luminate standpoint, like non-Luminate player standpoint, that a Luminate should focus on the heals, and then when the enemies are very low, to chip away at their health, or to cancel out, you know, the healing that they might receive from drones. For instance, if a Tricera is healing himself with a drone, a Luminate in corruption mode can apply some drones to prevent the healing. That way, the Tricera is not so tanky. That's just an example. I did really well with my wall drops in this game, and because of how the Welkin on our team also positioned himself, melee staggering the enemy, it allowed me to drop walls on their enemy Welkin at least twice, and that confirmed the kill. I mean, it's fairly a kill steal, but you know. I did keep our Sky Raider alive a few times by reviving him, so that was good. If you pay attention to the stats, you'll see that our Welkin tanked the most on our team, and I also tanked the second most on our team. And if you notice that the Welkin on our team has 0 deaths, and that was mainly because I kept him alive, and he was able to tank more because I kept him alive. The reason why I have the second highest most damage taken on our team is because they were targeting me several times, the Panther and the Stellaris, which, you know, it's okay if they target me as long as they don't kill me, because I can heal myself and then I can put myself back in the fight. Their enemy Aquila was not doing too well. He got bursted by Welkin at one point, so the Aquila was out of position and not using advantage of the high ground or the aerial space. Their Illuminate did pretty alright because they came in and they did a lot of healing. In fact, their Illuminate actually has more healing than I do. I think ultimately what came down to the performance was the damage output on their Aquila, on their Welkin, and on their Stellaris isn't that high, and they all three of them have 3 deaths, so they were out of commission for I think a death is about 30 seconds, 15 seconds for a recap, and then 15 seconds for a respawn. I'm not sure if that's true, but somewhere between 15 seconds to 30 seconds is how much time you're out per death. Having 3 deaths effectively means that you're out for almost, a minute and a half to 2 minutes, and this game was a 5-minute 49-second game. So if you really think about that, 3 deaths or 4 deaths means that you're out for half the game. Half the game you're not playing, and that's kind of a crazy concept to really think about. So them dying a lot allowed us to apply pressure at all 3 points, allowed us to capture all 3 points, and then we gained a major lead. I think in the beginning, if that Panther was smart to use the blade dash on me and then bursted me because I didn't have my bubble shield, and if the Panther would have landed any of his lance charges that I juked, I would have been dead, and that would have changed how things played out, because in the early game I wouldn't have been able to heal our Welkin, and we might not have been able to win the fights early game. Yeah, early game I distracted their Stellaris underground a bit, and then I ran away because I can. As long as Pinaka has energy, Pinaka's not going to get caught by melee and die as long as they have energy. That's 90% true. 10% is if you just get bursted by, 1 melee lance charge and you're not at full health, you can die pretty quick. Yeah, so overall, I think our team did well. We dominated the first battle, and that tilted everything to our favor with the stacking deaths. And I would imagine lack of synergy and team play on their side. They weren't able to do a lot of damage. Our team did have 2 healers and 2 supports, and that kept almost everyone alive. Our Illuminate did die once, so that is kind of sad, but effectively their team died 13 times. Even if a death was 10 seconds long out of commission, 13 times is 130 seconds. It's approximately 2 minutes. So effectively half of their team wasn't playing for half of the game, if that makes sense. And of course deaths stagger and the timelines are different, but I think that's a really important point. Is our team had almost 0 deaths. We only had 1 because of our Illuminate, and our Illuminate did great. I think their Panther stopped targeting me because I kept juking him. He probably got upset and then probably decided to target the Illuminate, and that probably is what got the kill. I don't actually know what killed our Illuminate, and I guess that's part of my fault for not paying attention as another healer on the team. But yeah, overall I think don't die a lot. It can really put yourself out of commission in the game, and I think we just had a really good game where we synergized really well and took out the initial clash and turned the tides into our favor for the rest of the game. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you see anything that I did poorly or could do better, or strategize, comment, and let me know. I am also going to upload a video where I got wrecked and that'll be the next one, and we got stomped. I was in a pre-made and our team synergy wasn't really built, and I didn't have my mic at the time because my PC got one-shotted due to a faulty bridge adapter connection from the power supply unit to my GPU, and the current draw from playing this game somehow broke that, and that adapter had a recall on it too, apparently. I found out afterwards, so that was also a big issue. But yeah, so I had to work on a suboptimal PC. I'm kind of actually making these videos on my laptop right now, and we got wrecked. We got stomped by a team who had a lot of aerial superiority, and yeah, I'll upload that next.